here's something that you really don't have to go to school to learn how to do, but it's a common problem I hear with a lot of guitar players who are already kind of famous, but I won't mention their names, but guitar is really easy to pick up and you just kind of play these open chords, and that's all beautiful and everything. And playing with a pick the Mel Bay way, is beautiful. A little story, when I was at Berkeley years ago, they tried to, I pick a very strange way. I kind of hold a pick, and I'm not telling you this because anybody should play like I play, but I hold a pick like between 3 fingers, and I hold it sideways, and I kind of brush. So I'm actually stroking the side of the string to get this kind of sound before. It was not any kind of master plan. It was just something that went wrong in my youth. But that's the way I play. And it was very limiting in some ways when it came time to do like single string techniques, like the Paul Gilbert double picking stuff. I could never quite do that. So I figured out other ways around it. I figured out legato ideas, which we can talk about later. But my point is that no matter what schools or books try to tell you, if you're gravitating towards something that feels more comfortable to you, then just go. I would never tell a student how to play anything, because I think if you want it bad enough, you figure out a way to make it happen, with your own, and it becomes your own style and your own sound after a while. But a couple simple tricks you can do just to give you a little variety playing guitar, because there's a D chord, but that becomes a bit predictable when you've heard it 10 million times on records, And it's not without its charm. It has a place, I'm just saying that if you want to mix things up, it's very easy. I do a weird thing. I tuck my pick between the 2 knuckles of these 2 fingers, which, once again, is nothing you have to do. You might stick it on your forehead or throw it away or whatever. Throw it to the girl in the front row. But the idea is that you can grip the strings like a harp player would do if they're playing a harp, and you can make the most simple chords sound a lot more musical. If you're familiar with Eric Johnson or Jimi Hendrix, which I'm sure you are, a lot of the beauty of what they play is what they don't play. When you hear a chord like, or you hear the Steely Dan Moo chord, it's almost all the intervals and all the notes you don't hear in there that make it harmonically rich, that give it a really open, beautiful sound. Because really, in a lot of these chords, all I had was 1, 5, and a 9. There's no third, there's no 7, nothing like that. So back to my original point, is that even with chords, like a simple C minor chord, which might sound really boring after a while, if you just do something simple like, it takes on a whole nother life. Nothing I did there was fancy chord-wise, but it sounded nice because I was like my thumb hitting the bottom note, maybe, and then picking like the A and the G string, then the D and the B string, and then the G and the E string. And this gives you partials. Which I think are much right, where you get like these, you don't have the whole kit and caboodle, you don't have the whole kitchen sink in there with every note. So that's like a really quick way to make what you do know more musical, is just taking whatever chord you know and just play a couple of notes instead of all of them. And that way you don't have to get into a lot of theory or drop 3 or anything that's more involved. You can just kind of have more fun. And you can also try, picking closer to the bridge makes a big difference too. I mean, all this stuff makes a huge difference. Going that works really nice on a Stratocaster. Back on the bridge, you can get a really chimey effect. And all I'm doing is I'm going down. But if you just hold it really tight on the left hand, that's kind of a nice effect, and it gets more metallic, more. As opposed to completely different, right? Or with your fingers. So the variety is endless, and that's the great thing about guitar. That's why it's never been sampled very well, and that's why you love it so much, and that's why everybody has one in their house like they do for a Frisbee, because it's so easy to pick up and do your own thing. But just beware that there's a lot more ways to skin a cat than just what they teach you in a Mel Bay book. No offense to Mel Bay.